we have the photographs of the existing conditions. Do we have any images of what it would look like?
Like a rendering?
Okay, yeah. And the views are all from here looking in this direction.
This is, I like on Chris, this house is federal 1830s-ish.
Okay, and the last, and there's only one device that's going to be mounted on the outside, is that correct?
Yes.
And that will be in line with the existing electrical meter.
Yeah. All right, does anybody have any questions?
I think one thing we were asking is, for the front facade, the front face that's facing north, how you said you all had calcs, to show that those are actually productive panels. Is that something that you could screen share with us so we can see that it's, I mean, I imagine the client would have okayed it based on them being productive, so maybe that's not, in some ways it's not in our purview, but if they're just superfluous, then we wouldn't want them, but assuming that they produce.
I'm going to pull it up here, and what I'm going to hope to do is Abigail present?
Hi, I am.
Okay, I might just shoot it over to you via email. I don't know if this computer, this laptop that I'm working off of is going to be,
Fine.
yeah, so just give me one moment, please.
I think assuming that those panels are productive enough for the homeowner to want them in the north bay, the roof pitch is relatively shallow. And based on what I'm seeing, I'm not overly concerned.
I'm not concerned at all. I'm not concerned at all.
I mean, my feeling is that ultimately, whether it is economically viable is not our purview. I think the question is whether or not we're willing to, or we find that the panels are appropriate to a house in the district.
I mean, I think there are panels on much more visible and much more prominent buildings across the district, and I have no issue with this on a side street.
Yeah, and when was this house built?
That I'm not sure of. Exactly when the house was built, I'm sure of.
Okay, certainly, I mean, am I correct that the siding looks like it's vinyl siding?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I don't, this is not one of the more significant houses in the district.
Yeah, I don't have any issue with it.
Yeah.
And I think the metering and the electrical all in the front corner is where this is gonna come down the side of the house, which makes sense, so I'm fine with it.
I would like to just say that I think this is a significant building in the district because it adds to the character of the overall district. But I think doing solar panels on a roof is a fairly reversible change to a building, and it is not very visible. So I feel okay with it.
Okay, agreed.
All right, with that, do I have a motion concerning the application as submitted?
I would make a motion to approve the application as submitted.
Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It was approved for nothing.
Thank you so much. I sent the what's called the shade report over to Abigail. You guys can take a look at that. What that is it shows all the production values of the arrays and which side is going to be weaker, is going to be darker, and the brighter colored sides are going to be the more productive ones. So you can see there's a very good balance between the amount of good exposure and then the little bit of offset because of the north facing.
Okay, that'll be really interesting to see. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you guys so much. Have a nice night.
Thank you, you too.
Bye-bye.
Okay, and Michael Mealy, this has to do with At 3 Cherry Street, okay, so it's all part of that application.
Yeah.
Okay. Old business. All right, now, what's the story with 24 Fair Street?
That's the church.
Oh.
They're gonna come back for the public hearing,
January.
because they didn't have the signage up, right? So he didn't feel it was necessary to come in today.
Okay.
We went yesterday. We can show you the photos.
Yeah, because I had a hard time.
I know, yeah, Google is stupid. I'm also stupid, but I'm gonna blame Google. Where are they?
So it's all Google's fault.
Well, why would they let you,
Please
why
note
would
that
they?
in the minutes.
Yeah, they force you to like send them as
Yeah.
Google Drive links, but then nobody that you send them to is able to open them. It's kind of dumb. At the minimum, they should prompt you to like grant permission when
Yeah.
you send the email, you know? Anyways,
Me too.
okay, so
Is there any way to put it on the big screen?
You can join the Zoom meeting and you can share it.
Maybe for now. So
Sorry.
God, I've got confidence in you. This is not a Google issue.
I have a hard stop that we just do it like
Okay,
this.
yeah,
I've
great.
seen some, there's no one who's on.
Okay, I haven't seen.
okay,
I do want to get to the point where we're just naturally syncing, but.
yeah.
Okay.
So this is the church across the street. There's been a lot of patching poorly done. Just for representation, fully missing slates, poorly matching slates. Another, missing pieces, broken pieces around. Closer up images of that. More broken pieces. Attic doesn't really show you much, but drop ceiling, this is where some of the leaking is happening in this room. And then this is another room that's inlaid, inset wood, which is all, you can't tell from the photos, but it's starting to kind of heave.
Right.
So something, there's water
And
issues
that's
up
not
there.
at the attic level, Todd was saying.
This is
so it's
not.
Actually penetrating multiple levels.
Right.
Yeah. And so we were, he showed us they had gotten a couple sample boards, which they will bring, but Lauren and I both, we thought this is like a double layered, so like there's a layer here and then this is raised up. So it creates kind of a nice, and the Hanford corners creates a nice shadow detail, a lot of color variation. So compared to like the regular, just plain old asphalt shingle, we thought this looked pretty nice. And the house directly next door, closer to Main Street, has a roof that looks very similar to this.
Right. All right, so taking them one step at a time, are we all in agreement that the roof really needs to be replaced?
I think we are, at least, I think we kind of, what I also brought up afterwards was as maybe a compromise, saving as much of the slate from the roof of the house as possible, for use in future repairs on
The church.
Since
Okay.
since the church has already had some bad replacement jobs done, patch jobs done, so I thought that was a good use of the historic material. Seeing this other shingle sample and seeing the house next door, which let me just pull up
Yeah, I'm just gonna find that.
that, because it looks very similar to that. So, and Morris to Railroad. And it's it looks like a nice roof. Much better than the kind
It's
of,
hard to tell from the street. I mean, when you see it next to a real straight slate roof, you're like, okay.
yeah, this
It's
is,
a nice idea.
But it's better than regular asphalt.
and I have a feeling the
But-
house directly next door probably had slate originally also.
All right, it's the one to the right of the.
It's the one
yellow.
directly to the right.
Right of the church, okay, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Kind of
We
like,
went through,
this
right,
one. Do you remember when that roof was done? Because the new one, I'm friends with the owner, and it was done right before they bought.
Yeah, that's interesting. That spec might actually be on file.
Yeah, they went through an application process a number of years ago, and I don't recall exactly when.
Yeah. Anyway, it seemed like I think where we landed was he's gonna also bring in the proposals of the work scopes and stuff. The slate repair version is like $90,000 more than going with the asphalt.
Mhm.
And that's just the repair.
Yeah,
And he also said that he looked into the,
yeah, he
to
did.
try to get a grant or something from
Mm.
Sacred Sites. And he spoke to other churches that have applied in the past, and they were like, you basically have to be St. John the Divine to get a
Yeah,
grant like that,
Okay.
because it's so competitive. And the other thing is they have drop ceilings in all of the bedrooms. So, and those are significantly damaged. So without seeing what's above, I mean, it's just been, the leak has been festering for a
Yeah.
long time.
yeah.
Mhm.
And nobody noticed because of the drop ceiling, and then only they noticed after that was damaged. So it's just
Here's
been
a
a
better picture.
problem for, oh yeah, it's a better.
Okay.
It just has a little more variation and a little more texture than,
Yeah,
I mean, obviously it is not the same.
Oh, that has the depth. It doesn't have
But it
that
does-
camper.
it-
I
It's not
think
the
it might
same.
actually. I think it might, it's hard to read,
It
but
does, no, it definitely does, like you can see the little
Yeah.
camper corners. Because I think that makes it have like a
yeah,
little bit more
I
of a,
agree.
of a shadow. But I think, I mean, I really liked what Todd said, which was to salvage those materials and then put them in storage. So that whenever and we should suggest, if we can, that the church roof be regularly inspected and maintained.
Yeah,
And then they can use the slates for, those repairs.
Right.
So that,
I love that,
and then
yeah.
we're kind of calling that the most significant building on the site
Mhm.
and the one that should be attended to.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions concerning, what our two field inspectors found?
I think
I
they
like
were
that
very
title.
thorough.
field inspector.
No, I think, if they're willing to accept that, and, I think they sounded like they would, then I think that's a good compromise. I think.
We
Yeah.
didn't mention the salvage part.
We didn't mention
Because we
that.
talked about it after on the way back.
Yeah, I don't really see what any reason. I'm sure that the church has a giant basement as that house does, so I mean, take a corner and stack up some slates. I can't imagine that's gonna be.
Right, well, it'll make it cheaper for
Yeah.
when they do need to make repairs, because they'll have the
Mhm.
stock
Yeah.
already.
Exactly.
And it matches. which
And it
is nice,
matches.
Which those churches already been repaired with.
All right, so when are we, rescheduled for the public hearing?
The next January meeting, so that's like the third week of January.
Maybe.
Well,
We get
yeah, I
the
have to do
draft.
it.
We got the new
Board,
one.
right?
Is that when our January meeting is?
January 21st.
January what?
21st?
Okay.
Right.
Do we need to vote on, rescheduling the public hearing?
This is all.
Or have we?
I would think so, considering that you motioned to schedule it for a certain time and it didn't happen on that day, I would think you would have to motion again.
All right, so, due to the fact that, am I correct, they didn't put up the signs?
No sign, no mail receipt, no nothing.
Okay, so they didn't do anything for the public hearing.
Mhm.
Do I have a motion to reschedule the public hearing for 24 Fair Street?
January 20th.
Yeah, sure. I'll make a motion to reschedule the public hearing until January 21st.
Would that be tentative on the condition that your schedule is approved by the
I
village board?
suppose it would be.
Or let's just say the January meeting, because there will
Yeah.
be a January meeting.
Well, can't do that because you have to issue a public notice about rescheduling the meeting. And we can't sort of say, well, Yeah,
Should we see it after next Wednesday's board meeting?
Well, I guess my question is that, have, in the past, I've never really had, the requirement that the village board approve our meetings, the dates of our meeting.
Okay. Then it would just be January 21st then.
All right,
It was, and I might be misremembering, but I think there was talk about other meeting shifting
Yeah.
times too, and so it might be more of a coordination alignment as far as.
Yeah.
well, but that's true of all of our meetings, right? And what we're talking about, because normally our meeting would be, at what is it, the first Tuesday, right?
So this is something that Dawn sent to all of us today that
That's right.
is respectfully submitted by me. That
That's
is
hilarious.
something we have to do. This is apparently something we have to submit, like he wrote up a document proposing our new schedule, because I think the difference is that we're asking for applications to be handed in earlier
Mhm.
also, so I think that's why we have to get it approved by the village board.
According to the village ordinance, we're supposed to set up our own rules.
Okay.
Is this also just a general monthly report or this whole package? Oh, annual, oh yeah, annual report.
I think it is. I didn't get to look through it fully.
I mean, it seems like Sean did a bunch of homework on this. Were you involved in this at all?
And as far as what?
Deciding the third Thursday, the reasoning behind it, speaking to the board?
We had
Talked
talked,
about it at the one that you weren't.
Oh,
here
okay.
at, so we all talked about
And
that.
he talked to the other
he
board
didn't
chairs?
show up, so we decided to talk about it.
But he spoke with all the other board chairs, because he says only the recreation committee meets the third Tuesday. However, they meet in the
Probably
small,
get email, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
the
the phone.
small, conference
And
room.
is there a meeting now? Is that other group? Okay, and you don't have to attend those meetings.
No.
Okay,
Okay, dear.
so,
Although, were we saying the third Tuesday or third Thursday?
I thought it was Tuesday.
Maybe
Tuesday,
that's
yeah.
a typo.
Oh, what is the?
No.
Well,
Yeah,
let's-
this is a typo to the
Okay,
third Tuesday.
let's decide that amongst ourselves now. Are we talking about the third Tuesday or is
It's-
third,
It's just a typo.
It's a typo.
So it's the,
It's a Tuesday.
third Tuesday?
Okay, so
Okay, so, do I have a motion concerning, when we will schedule our meetings in the year 2025?
I will make a motion to schedule our meetings on the third Tuesday of the month in 2025.
As submitted by co-chair Lauren. Or I'm sorry, vice chair.
Oh, vice.
it's whatever,
Okay.
it's whatever you want to do. It's fine, whatever you want to do. I went to a book, Dogman book thing today with my child. This is my time today.
did someone, sorry, did someone second the motion to schedule the public hearing for January 21st?
Yes. Yes.
Of course, we all heard that.
And then second, the motion to schedule the third Tuesday of the month for 2025.
Why don't we share it? Kate, you want to second that?
I'll second that.
Okay. Forget that's because Lauren prepared it. She submitted it to the
Yeah, I
board
was
for
like, wait,
consideration.
what? What is that?
All right, so,
Yeah, you're on the bottom, see?
Yeah, I saw.
okay. So, for January at least, and unless, typically we schedule it on a recurring
Oh.
date so people will know.
I'm already.
So people will know. And so for January, it'll be the third Tuesday evening at 7:30. So that is when we want to reschedule the public hearing.
Okay, sounds good. When does rec commission meet? I should know.
I think that's,
First and third Thursday?
I think that's it's a Tuesday, but they meet in the small room is what you
Yeah,
wanted to
they
say.
do.
Small room.
Okay, not a problem.
But you would know better than.
No, I'm not at this meeting.
Okay.
It's
So-
just planning and zoning.
Okay, I am not here January or February.
The entire month,
Correct.
you're,
Just leaving me
And
comfortable.
possibly,
all right, see now, it starts getting a little, and have we gotten any,
Yeah.
applications?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I spoke with Mike Maggio.
Oh, you did?
Well, I texted him and he responded and it sort of sounded like maybe he had not gotten my emails from the last 2 weeks, so he did not say hard no.
Okay,
So I will
Okay.
gently beg him to.
all right, because,
Yes, did someone say that?
He's on the rec commission.
Okay.
all right, does
I don't
anybody
know,
know
I'm
what
not-
I
John
can ask him,
Ferrari?
but I don't know.
McCrory,
I don't know who that is.
okay,
Is that the person that had reached out?
no,
Oh,
no,
'cause that was about
that
something else,
person,
right?
Mhm.
this woman had applied for a vacancy in 2020. And so I found her name and address. So I sent her, hey, you've got an opening.
I think we established that you have to be, weirdly, have to be a US citizen also.
Even if you own a building in Cold Spring.
Yeah,
Um,
cause Stefan Danich on Church
Hmm.
Street had
He wanted
inquired, yeah, and I don't know who told him or told me, somebody told me and then I communicated it to him. But maybe we send John.
I think that
We
is,
should ask
that is a
about that.
question that we should
Yeah,
ask,
that'd be good.
our friend Mr. First.
Okay.
Because I don't know, I mean.
You're gonna what?
I'm gonna ask Patrick again.
I don't know.
I saw Charmaine this morning. and met
I
her,
don't
so-
know.
No,
if
but it
there's
was,
Any
there,
reason
he's
why,
aware.
this is not a national.
He's aware. He's aware.
Agency that we're getting them to join, so.
Well, it's a lot more common
John.
than you think.
It's what?
It's a lot more common than you think. Like, it's not irregular to have that requirement.
Well,
To have the citizen thing?
To be
Yeah,
on
I
the
don't
board?
really
Not
understand.
to,
it,
not to
though.
be on a board, but for just a lot of things.
Everything?
A lot. Trust me.
Yeah, no.
so let's check with Mr. First,
Mhm.
see if we can get a legal opinion.
Yeah, of course.
And
Abigail,
also,
are you gonna do that? I can email him right now, unless you're in more,
You're doing it.
are you
You're
in like
the middle.
regular communication with him?
Of course.
You are?
well,
Alright.
if you're not a vice chair, so we've got.
I just happen to have my laptop open.
We've got two vice.
Would you like me to do it?
If you're comfortable doing it.
I'm fine doing it. I just don't know. If it might go to his not pay
Oh, I
attention.
see. That makes sense.
I'm gonna copy
Maybe silly, but-
everybody in
Yeah.
anyways.
Okay.
Don't get used to this,
Alrighty.
guys.
All right, do we have minutes can we vote on these minutes?
Good question. Who was there? You were there. You were there.
You were there and you were there.
Yes.
For
I hope.
the minutes?
Yeah. September 3rd. I actually double checked that before I.
1, 2, 3, yeah.
Wait.
Todd was here over Zoom. We were all here.
Okay, wonderful.
So it's just September 3rd?
Mhm. October will most likely be out before the break, before the Christmas.
Why was there a public hearing? Like, why was that not old business?
Wasn't that already approved? They haven't, submitted their certified mail receipts. I think.
So it was like a soft approval before? Cause I remember not really thinking that I had a like that we could.
Well, it can't be an approval unless all of the paperwork is in fact complete. And so we couldn't really approve it. And I think we gave them our reaction that it probably would approve.
But it was from like a long time
But
ago.
this is September. I acknowledge the submission of the certified mail receipts.
I just remember that, I don't know, Kate, maybe you, I just remember like this was something that we hadn't reviewed, really? You and I?
The wild
Yeah,
store building, right, next to, you know, just north.
I
of
wasn't here for
Hill.
that.
no, this,
Or just the old flower store.
yeah, it's the one.
Oh, this is the covered
This was
porch.
way before me and Kate, but for some reason it.
Yeah, the category of question, if this is River Architects,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So I thought we reviewed minutes from where we approved it. Is this one simply, so when they came in for their public hearing, there's an issue where the notices hadn't been received, but like
Mhm.
everything had been sent and it was just a little behind. And we
Mhm.
basically said, sure, we will approve this project. Everyone's happy with it. You just need to kind of retroactively show those receipts, but the neighbors had been notified, something like that. And
Mhm.
so I don't know if these minutes are basically saying, okay, that public hearing we had where everything was taken care of, we now officially have the certified mailing receipts. And so we've like closed the loop. Is that what this is? And this wasn't a public
No.
hearing?
No, I mean, the way I remember it is that they had come and we reviewed the application, but they had not submitted their the certified mailing receipts.
Mhm.
And so we put off the public hearing.
Mhm.
This was in fact a public hearing that we had held.
In September.
Because I do remember seeing this application about,
July. It was in July. It was supposed to be on the agenda for August. I think I forgot to remind you, so it skipped that month because we had the late meeting August 20th and then the early meeting September 3rd, which is why we went back to it but it was held open. Does that sound correct?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's it. I remember we started the public hearing on one month, and then it was held open because we didn't get the certified receipts.
So this is the second part of that public hearing, closing the loop, where we got the
Right.
receipts and we're
Yes.
officially calling it done. Okay.
I can
Um,
add that if that helps with the context for the minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is that fair under board comments like this, the board previously approved pending submission of certified mailing receipts?
yeah. So that this conversation doesn't.
Well, no, I think I think maybe we can make it a little bit clearer that this is a continuation of the public hearing, which was begun whenever it was begun.
Held on July 2nd. So this is a continuation of public hearing held on July 2nd. Board previously approved application.
Well, nothing is approved. In
Okay.
other words, we had a public hearing, but it was held open because of the lack of the certified mailing receipts.
Okay. The only thing I don't have on those minutes is the adjournment time, I think, but those are in my notes. I say look at them.
Okay.
And these the minutes no longer have the applicant name or like the owner or the architect. Is that something that we want to continue to include when we're listing the address? Or is it part of the agenda that's on file and so it's not necessary to repeat it?
I think since we listed in the agenda, let's go ahead and list it on the minutes.
Okay.
And it'll tie it together.
Okay, that's fine. Owner and applicant is different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think we should be, add anything for the board comments under, for the Furnace Street project?
And I hope I said something more profound than just feeling good about
Well, I
the
think-
progress, but I don't recall,
Yeah,
so
one of the
I'm
things
not gonna ask for an edit there.
Oh, I guess it's under, yeah, restoring the kitchen addition, keep or main.
I think I kind of,
keeping-
yeah, said sort of the same thing as
Keeping, yeah.
Sean, pretty basically.
The existing kitchen addition, yeah, keeping the, because they're not restoring it, they're just
Mhm.
keeping the existing 1950s addition
Roof line.
and roof line. Because that was the real thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Um,
keeping the roof line of the kitchen addition.
Mhm.
Helps the newer part look like it was sort of sitting on rather than. Um,
Yeah, I know you were, I don't know what the word is, strongly opinionated, I guess, on this application. Is there anything else that you'd like me to add? Any detail that you think is important to the approval?
I just think that if we were to say keeping the existing kitchen addition to the
Mhm.
elevation
Mhm.
and as you said, the roof line. I don't know.
Good, good enough.
Yeah, so
Okay, next one is our favorite.
Cornice.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Now, on that drawing that they submitted, is it just windows and the corners? It's the corners, but what about above it?
you mean the space between the sills and the cornice or what do you?
No, I mean, the cornice was one one item altogether, but above it, I remember he had a list of call outs on the right side of the drawing. I mean, it was a double
Well, he wants to
existing
replace the
proposed.
siding, the windows, the roof. All of that eventually.
Yeah, and we approved whatever he was submitting.
Yeah, which was the windows and the cornice. Right?
And what about the siding?
We-
We have that on the siding. I think the roofing we approved, like for like.
Yeah, just asphalt shingle.
I'd have to look at the application.
I know that I want to say for that one you voted twice, which is why I have an extra weird bullet point in between the two.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was a little bit, I have a hard time following with all the jargon, but you did vote twice, one for,
The
I guess, the
windows.
windows, the sills, all those details, and then another for the copper, I think was mentioned, some kind of copper, some kind of,
At the
Siding.
The
corner.
cover roof on the
Yeah.
cornice.
but there were no materials, I guess, explicitly submitted for those aspects. If that makes sense.
Well, okay, according to the minutes, either wood or hardy board replacement.
Mhm,
Because the existing siding is that asbestos
mhm.
tile,
I
right?
believe so, yeah.
And I think he wanted some sort of flexibility, like if then, you know what I mean?
If he removes it, it's
Yeah.
totally destroyed.
Yeah.
Then he wants to be able to put hardy board on it, and I think we strongly suggested he use wood
Yeah.
to match the existing. Did we approve hardy board?
He wanted to change it to, a smaller horizontal slat, siding also.
Yeah, I think we've
That's
said
what the
to-
drawings said.
I feel like we waited on deciding, I would need, because you mark up the drawings, right?
Yeah.
So I would need to look at that marked up set to know what was decided.
Yeah, I can't
to be
recall
able to-
either.
This is, yeah, so like 3 months ago, it's really hard to remember.
But maybe can we do that? Can we look at that drawing? And I'm happy to like look at it with you and then look at this section
Mhm.
to get.
That'd be helpful.
Yeah, can you get the drawing and let's go ahead and resolve it?
Five, not five,
September,
159, 161 Main.
you got 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Tomorrow. 3 o'clock, right?
Oh, thank you for the reminder. It's in my calendar, but that's, now it's in my head. Yep. We're gonna go to the library and talk to them about their resources and
Cool.
what we can do to collaborate.
And one of the things that I wanna ask her is their ability to post the photographs that you're collecting.
Well, Sean moved it, migrated everything and created a new Gmail account. So,
So lucky.
and we can possibly maybe just give them access to that. Because the way, and I kind of renamed a few things and moved a few things around.
Oh,
Well, see, here's the thing, I'd rather not give them the access. I would rather that we control what they get.
Oh, well then let's. They need view only access granted for the drive.
And they don't need to view anything. We send them what we want. In other words, as far as the public access, it would be through the library.
Right. We want the public to be able to view the files at the library. So the library needs to have, basically be able to, they need to be granted view only access to all of the files as opposed to editable. Like when I share things with you guys, I want you to all be able to download them, to upload your own things to the file, so you have like a more access. You can do view only, I believe.
So when we talk to them tomorrow, I think we can find out what, if they like that view only, if they want to, print a copy of every single photo and put it in an album and put it on the shelf and give people access that way, or like what their version is. But if they know they're allowed to use these files and we've already sorted them in a particular way,
Right.
we can start there.
And if they don't have a Gmail account, maybe they just make like hbrv@butterfield@gmail.com or something.
Let's finish one thing at a time.
Yeah,
Okay,
he doesn't want to switch gears out.
I know. Okay, so asphalt shingles, at the roof.
This isn't marked up at all. This is the one that we then, like, don't you stamp one with a few notes that says,
Except I think that is
isn't that digital?
yeah, it's digital.
that would be the one where, if this is what he submitted, it won't be a
Yeah, so
I
then
need to see how, bless you.
Would you like to see it?
I have one. I don't know what the heck's going on. I'm like,
We have
What
this
happened?
home that if someone sneezes, everyone has to say bless you. If you see one person, like, all that.
bless you.
Al,
What?
Yeah.
Paying attention.
Like 6 months.
You guys do the cheers, the eyes, and your cheers in.
Yeah.
No. What? you're cheersing and you better make eye contact with everyone at the table
Okay.
or bad things happen.
So, that's to know.
Okay.
What was the event that you went to get your fancy pen?
A dog man release party. I think yours are a little too old. So
Oh,
it was just like show up, get the new book, get all the dog man swag. They were thrilled. Have a juice box, have a little popcorn snack, you know. You know how it goes.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, Malcolm was thrilled.
Those are chapter books, right? Those are like early chapter books.
Yeah, I had a friend who was like, oh, maybe I should go. I was like, does Leo already like those books? She's like, never heard of them. I was like, you're not going to this event because it's like a lot of like super duper like hoop jokes, like super far, like it's just a lot of, but Malcolm really likes them because he's 6.
Yeah. I think Wyatt was really into it.
They're all into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then hopefully they grow out of it. But anyway. So the premise is there's there's police, and there's a police officer and his trusty dog assistant, and they both grew up trying to make a bomb not go off, like they put the wrong wires, and then the crazy thing that happens is the dog's head is sewn on the policeman's body.
Oh, that's the origin story?
That's the origin story. That's this guy. And then they are the
Gosh.
greatest crime fighter in history after that. And it is so absurdly, it's just so absurd. And I'm like, why are we doing this? But anyway.
It starts so dark.
I know.
It's so dark. And I was like, cop, like it's just like all the things. So it's, you know, it's fine.
Where are we at, Al?
Well, I'm into the certificates. I just need to get down to, is it 151? 160, no, 159 to 161. Except my,
Do we have a new deadline? Excuse me, for applicants?
Yeah. So yeah, that's the other thing is the applications are due the first of the month. And then we are the third.
No, sorry,
Oh.
sorry, I meant
Okay.
applicant for the board.
Oh.
Yeah.
yes, we
That was
do.
January.
December 30th.
December 30th.
And if-
November.
Okay,
30th? 30 days.
I think that's what you said,
September,
April, June, and November, all the rest of 31.
Yeah, so I guess December 31st is it, Al?
No, if I remember correctly, at least as far as the notice that's on the bulletin board is December 30th.
okay.
I
So we have a
think
month-
that
there's a
that's
month,
That's a Friday or something like that.
Okay.
So no decision will be made.
But you won't be here
I will
to
be,
interview or anything?
no, I mean, I could try to zoom in with you guys, but, that's, so yeah, hopefully we have somebody then for the January meeting, I guess.
I mean, Sean, don't quote me, but he was saying he could come in
Join
for
for
that
that.
if needed, but I think the idea was that more.
Well,
than
I guess if
3
they have,
days,
basically have another,
Cause I would. For that meeting.
you're not, oh, right,
Just for that application, yeah.
so
I
there's
think we want
4,
4 ideally.
yeah,
Are you
so,
not gonna be there at all?
I'll be there for that, yeah, so depending on what else is on the agenda, I can do those.
As for the new deadline, I think I can post a new notice on the website. But I did want to let you know, I don't think I can put another notice in the newspaper. Because it costs us money.
okay,
They don't like that.
yeah.
Wait, so do we have to submit this to the board? Where did we land on this? Our new schedule?
I thought, I would have assumed that we would, because the village board is the one who basically made us rearrange our schedule last year. So I would have assumed that we would have to basically run it by them, but you're kind of saying you don't think we do. So,
According to the ordinance, the wording in the ordinance, we're supposed to set up the process.
okay,
So what we should do is we should notify them,
yeah,
but,
maybe just take the question mark off of the sentence and
right.
change the wording and say,
I mean, even if we set our own process, it is Abigail's time and
Yeah.
coordinating different meetings that we don't have, or sort of the structure of who meets when,
Yeah.
if we were to ask for a competing slot, I think.
And it's like still, it's like giving people a different amount of time between when they submit their application that they pay the village for versus when they get reviewed. Does seem like they would need to know.
Right? They don't.
That was September.
It seems better to
Yeah,
do
September
rather
3rd.
than-
Did you find it?
I just want
Yeah.
to see the harm.
I have it in my
Yeah.
inbox if you're having difficulty.
Certificate of appropriateness.
does that time slot work for you?
Wednesday?
These times.
Tuesday.
Same time, but on the third Tuesday instead of the first.
I am employed to be here regardless.
I mean, it's just switching a day.
Yeah,
Like,
it is. So,
rather than the first Tuesday.
yeah.
If you need to go, just go. We
Yeah,
will
we
have
can
to-
handle
we
it.
will have to just-
gonna go.
Okay, have a great time.
Thank you. Driving to the airport.
Oh,
Westchester.
Oh, okay.
Not as bad.
I was about to say JFK girl.
No, that is, I won't JK.
You don't like JFK?
Before you had to do a meeting.
Okay, I've got it.
You can walk too far, but it's like so easy to get to JK.
True.
Even in an Uber, I get panic attacks.
Yeah.
I've been taking the train a lot.
I think that's the way to do
That's
it.
that's why.
Easier.
Is it
Now
your car?
Long
Your
Island
car,
Railroad
yeah.
stops at Grand Central now.
That's true.
Actually, it takes a while, but I've also driven and had to take 3 hours, so I'd rather
Yeah.
just
It's the
take.
thing, like in Brooklyn, I take an Uber and for
Yeah.
work and
Yeah.
I might miss my flight because I'm in Brooklyn
Now,
traffic.
like, you can just kind of just pick the train, leave Cold Spring, not think about it, you know you're gonna get there.
Wow.
I don't see any
Yes.
markups.
So that means. That it was approved.
So,
So we approved the siding.
Okay.
I mean, I personally know that I didn't have a problem with it.
Mhm.
Painted hardy board, I didn't have a problem with. I don't, again, it's 3 months, whatever. I don't recall. So. If the application has siding and your minutes have have the word siding, then I think that's.
The application itself.
I mean, we wouldn't have wanted the same proportions as the asphalt siding
No,
anyway,
no.
so-
No, I mean, I remember
I mean, I
looking
feel
at
like-
this and not, and the gist of this, what was changing was really around the size of the cornice, the space between the window, and then also the light pattern of the window. This siding felt much more appropriate. I think for all of us.
Okay, let me read the comments because I see that the drawing that we got approval of is different from that because.
Yeah, he changed the window light pattern.
Right. So. New asphalt shingles, charcoal, existing dentals painted gold,
Yeah.
new clad double hung windows with 2/2 divided lights, black, new painted AZAC trim, new hardy board siding, gray, new standing seam copper roof, and that's over the cornice, new 2-foot tall cornice, black and gold dentals, new 1'7" inch corbels, black with gold accents. So those were the notes.
Okay.
All right, so let's finish with the minutes because. Okay, a new cornice over the sofa that they did, and being replaced with the same material. Details of it remain the same. Applicant confirmed that there would be an apron but no window sills. And I think that's two separate words.
I
Window.
tried, but it made me put it together.
Auto corrected you?
Yeah, but I can change it.
The change include the pattern of the bracket.
Well, then, or you can just put in sills.
Okay.
I think that's. Or why don't we change it to this? Applicant confirmed that the windows would have an apron but no sills.
Confirm windows, apron, but no sill. Oh, don't know.
And changes to the, all right, fine. Board comment. Commented that the 2x2 pattern was more appropriate. Lauren agreed that the 2x2.
Was the way to go.
Yeah, it's,
Oh, did I leave
is
that?
more appropriate. In other words, it,
Oh, yeah, I did. It was more appropriate. Give me 1 second, I can't find.
you're looking for the minutes.
Yeah. Oh, what you need a copy?
Oh, so.
Well, is there another copy in here?
No.
Okay.
More appropriate, you said?
Yeah,
Yeah.
where the dot is, just.
More appropriate, and then.
Stated that if there is existing historic fabric regarding the cornice, it needs to be preserved.
I said it should be, but I guess it's.
No, I can change it.
And then I suggested changing the configuration of the proposed cornice fine. Motion to approve the application as modified, removing the windowsills, the muntin pattern change, siding removal, and either wood or hardy board replacement.
Changing
Two by two instead of 6.
Oopsie. Setting removal and either wood/hardy board replacement. Do you just want to do hardy board since that's what that is on what you approved?
Yeah,
I think that's part of what we suggested, that we said, please do the wood, like existing wood if it's there. And then if
Oh,
it's too damaged,
keeping it,
then-
right,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, so
So
that's
leave
where
it.
we wanna say that
Yeah,
either
Preserving
retaining and repairing the existing wood cladding or replacing with hardy board to match the existing historic.
yeah.
Okay. Retaining repairing wood or hardy board to match existing aesthetic. What did you just say?
What is it?
Historic
Existing
siding.
historic.
Yeah, historic siding.
Historic, you got it.
okay, so, and that was approved 5-0. Then, I had proposed reducing the size of the cornice from 2 4 inches to 2 foot.
Mhm.
And the brackets are located as they are located or reduced in size. And that was approved 3-1-1.
Yes. Does there need to be reasoning behind that? Reasoning 3-1-1, reasoning for 3-1-1?
Well, I guess,
Meaning who said what? Who,
Yeah, like-
who voted?
Yeah, does there need to be reasoning for that in
Right.
any instance, not just this one?
Right.
Okay, well, I guess the question becomes, who is the one that voted no and who's the abstention?
I voted no and Kate abstained.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to state why you voted no in the minutes?
On the cornice, because I believed you should have, retained the existing, retained and repaired the existing historic
Okay,
cornice.
so let's add that, and,
Retain, repair existing corners.
Yeah, rather than replace with something.
I don't know why
like
Kate abstained.
Um, I think she wanted to hear your reasoning, but then she was conflicted because she seconded the motion. And then it was
Oh.
like, and then you
Okay.
said, you can abstain.
And then,
And
and
she-
this is why you didn't include any of this, because it makes no sense at all, and no one reading. Reading it
So
would
I
be,
can include it, but I just, if it's not
that
necessary.
rings a bell.
well, why don't we just, for the sake of the minutes, list the people who voted no and who abstained. So it would be Lauren and Kate. So we'll
Yeah, I don't
have
think
that.
there's a reason. It's just
Okay.
who
Yeah.
did what.
Yeah, who
right?
did what?
Because
I
like the
think that's-
discussion should be self-evident of
Yeah.
like why.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, Forge
Okay.
Gate,
Forge
Kate
Gate,
show up and then withdrew,
Yeah.
no public comment, motion to adjourn. And we don't remember what time it adjourned.
well, it says,
You have it in your notes somewhere.
Yeah, that's simple.
All right.
when it says application proposed, they were replacing all windows in this unit, was not addressed at this meeting. Didn't we find out that it was withdrawn at this meeting?
Not at this meeting.
The next one.
The letter that I received, I think it was the next one, was stated for September 10th. That's the
Okay.
only reason why I didn't put it.
Yeah, I
on.
think they like didn't show up to one meeting, and then by the next one, we had found out that they just withdrew the application, right?
Okay, and do you have the time the meeting was adjourned at?
It's in my car.
In her notes.
I have a notepad in my car. It's like down the block.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as revised with the addition of the adjournment time by Abigail.
And do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, minutes are approved.
Approve minutes as
Yes.
modified.
As modified, including the addition of the adjournment time. Yours truly.
Awesome, thank you. So.
This you took, I think this. you
Oh,
took
this
out,
was
right?
Abigail, sorry.
Do you like Abigail or Abby?
That's fine.
No, which one?
Abby is fine. Usually my mom calls me Abigail when I'm in trouble.
So you want. Abby.
What do your friends call you? Not that we're your friends, but what do your friends call you? Abby?
Mostly,
Okay,
yeah,
is that, oh,
that's fine.
That's good?
It's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So can I just ask at this village board meeting next week? Like, how does this work? Like, what happens? Like, there's like monthly reports.
Oh, the monthly report.
Do I have to go through every monthly report?
Um,
Or
well,
like, what do I have to?
Abby, I have never been there when they've done these monthly reports, but I've seen where doesn't somebody read the monthly reports?
I don't think I think what happens is every other Wednesday, the clerk collects reports from each board representative. And that would be you in this instance. So for the month, you assemble what happened. We had one meeting, we reviewed these applications, we approved these applications. Whatever is summarized in there, and then you submit it to Greg, BCS clerk. And then I think he compiles everything into their agenda.
So Sean did this,
Yes.
but why is he submitting everything since February?
Maybe at the end of the year, they do an annual. That's what I'm gonna assume here.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you on the thing for that?
I'm on the stationary.
New title that she has not actually agreed to is on the stationery.
Isn't that coercion? Do you feel safe?
Um, so
Mhm.
this is supposed to happen every other Wednesday, like every 2 weeks, I need to make a report.
No, because we only have monthly meetings, so I think
So-
it's a
So
month.
every month I need to make a
I
report
think, yeah, that
and
sounds
then
right.
resubmit again at the end of the year.
I wanna say so. I haven't gotten to that point.
Okay.
I'm here with you,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay.
John, why are you leaving?
Okay. Well, I think that, unless somebody has an objection,
Yeah.
I will be writing, a letter of thank you to Sean, for his service on the board.
Yeah.
Anybody have any objection?
No objection, and politely ask if he will sit in on the January meeting if we don't have a quorum.
And forever thereafter.
Yeah.
Well,
we
I
need-
mean,
we
he's
need to
off,
adjourn.
he's off.
Okay.
He's what?
We potentially won't have quorum to do that meeting,
Right.
because I will not be able to be physically present, and Kate is abstaining. So I don't know what that does legally.
If I may, I think for that application, if there's a conflict of interest, I've seen Ben do it. He recused himself. I think she can
That's
do
what
that
Kate would do, yeah.
for that portion of the.
But if Sean isn't there also, then
Oh, so we would have quorum, you're saying we would have quorum for the meeting, but for that one thing,
So I guess you would.
I
be
would,
able to-
as long, it would then be up to, with the three of us would have to vote unilaterally the same direction
Yeah.
or nothing moves.
Well, okay, but what are you talking about? What is, vote on what?
the Fair Street application
The
that Kate's
one-
working on. So she needs to recuse herself from voting on that
She's
application.
working on it.
Todd won't actually physically be here.
Somebody said Sean offered to come,
Sean
to stay, to
offered,
come to that
yeah.
meeting if we didn't have a fifth
So
board
there
member.
will technically be a quorum because there will be 3 board members physically present. But does it matter that for that one vote, even though Kate's in the room, she has to recuse herself? Can Todd still vote and it counts as a quorum, or is that illegal?
Well, if he's in the room,
I'm
No,
not in
Todd
the
is not in the room.
not in the
He's on
room,
Zoom.
you're talking about being, available on Zoom.
I will be Zoom January and February.
Well, and that, is that not a problem? Because I think that what the,
Open meeting cell?
needs to, you know.
There needs to be a physical quorum.
Right.
I can't quite recall. I just had this meeting 2 weeks ago. I can't quite recall, but I can check.
Check. I think it probably will be fine because there will be quorum for the meeting. So one agenda item shouldn't affect that.
Well, that and also, my experience with quorums, with, recusals is that, doesn't, if everybody is aware of the potential conflict of interest, then the person, may be able to vote as long as their interest is disclosed.
Mhm. Oh, isn't that there a portion on the application for that? Officials who are. No?
You don't have to recuse yourself?
I don't think you have to.
I
I think
don't
it's sort of like at your discretion if.
Well, and it's also discretion, of the other board members. In other words, if because you have, conflicts of interest of varying grades.
Yeah.
And the question really becomes, do we feel that, Kate's involvement with the project is in fact, detrimental as far as her judgment goes?
I think if she's willing to recruit, either way, we should maybe just check, but I think we should be fine to have the meeting if we don't have a fifth board member.
Right.
At that point, because there will be, as long as the 3 of you guys are here, I will be remote. And for that one thing, we can vote and whatever.
Would that need to be expressed on the disclosure of official interests or disclosure of official interests on the application, form? It says nature and extent of interest of any state official, municipal officer or employee in this application. Would that apply?
Nature and extent. of
Well,
interest
that's a
of
good
any
point.
state
I think that, talk with John first about it because we have had instances where somebody who was a neighbor who normally would have recused themselves did in fact vote on an application because of the issue about the quorum.
Okay.
And the question really is that can we as a board, if we feel it's justified, allow the person to vote? Once they have identified their potential conflict of interest.
Okay.
All right.
I mean,
Fantastic.
that we are not officers or employees of
Right.
the village, so using that very strict language, that wouldn't apply, but yeah, I guess get John.
Well, I don't know. Are we not officers?
No one gave me a badge.
John said Kate would have to recuse herself.
Oh, okay.
John,
John can-
John said that. But I don't know.
let's talk to.
Let's get the legal.
Yeah.
The
Legal.
lawyer.
All right. I move to adjourn our final meeting of 2024.
What? Bye, Sean.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So hopefully we get some applicants and that first week of January, maybe we can like interview